Recording has started.
We're now joined by #1 ranked UFC flyweight contender Deiveson Figueiredo. Our first question goes to Jay Anderson. Jay, your line has been unmuted.
Thanks very much, Deiveson. And obviously, not the best circumstances with, the COVID-19 test and everything, but it looks like everything is going as well as can be so far. I just want to ask, what exactly happened from your point of view? And, when did you find out that you had tested positive for COVID originally? When did you get over the disease, and what exactly happened?
Parece que tá tudo certo, né? Tirando essa situação do corona. E ele tá perguntando mais ou menos essa questão das datas, né? Quando que você descobriu que você teve? Quando que você testou positivo? Se você puder dar um pouquinho de informação sobre a situação para eles.
Então, 2 meses atrás eu tive Covid. E desde então, minha doutora, que também é minha nutricionista, vem cuidando de mim até o momento que marcaram a luta. E eu sabia que eu não estava com Covid e pude provar fazendo o segundo teste. Eu provei que eu estava limpo e consegui chegar até a ilha da luta para fazer essa luta contra o Benavides, a revanche.
So 2 months ago, I knew that I had the coronavirus, and I had been under observation from my doctor, who's also my nutritionist since then. So I knew there was no way that it was still active in my system, considering I had it 2 months ago. So after that positive test, we were able to redo it and prove to the UFC that it wasn't active on my system anymore.
Now, one of the complications then is that you traveled to Abu Dhabi later than everyone else. You're still under quarantine. Is there any concern that that's going to impact your weight cut?
O grande problema nessa situação toda foi que você acabou tendo que viajar depois do resto do grupo, né? Você acha que isso vai gerar algum problema para você, especialmente em relação ao corte do peso?
Não tem problema algum. Eu saí de Belém do Pará com um peso bem baixo e hoje eu estou faltando 2 quilos para bater o peso e vou usar a manhã toda de sexta-feira para desidratar e voltar no peso no horário previsto aí para pesagem.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. My weight is in a lot better control than it was for last fight. I actually traveled from Belém around 2 kilo over, so I'm very close to it. That's about as much as I have to take out on Friday. So it should be an easy cut. I'll start in the morning and I'll be on weight by the time the weigh-in start.
And last one for me. After the fight in Norfolk, it might have been yourself or maybe Waleed said that you despite missing weight and not winning the title, you did feel like the champion without the belt. Do you still feel that way now?
Eles não sabem se foi você ou se foi o Waleed que disse, mas assim, chegou para a mídia que você mesmo não tendo conquistado o cinturão por causa da questão do peso, você se sentia como campeão. Você ainda se sente dessa forma?
Isso com certeza. Eu me sinto como campeão. Infelizmente não bati o peso, não estou com cinturão. Mas agora eu estou preparado para pegá-lo. Eu vim para pegar dessa vez, vim para bater o peso.
Yeah, for sure. Like I did win the fight. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out of the octagon with the belt, but it's going to be different this time. My weight is a lot better than before, so making weight is not going to be a problem, and the win is going to be the same.
All right, well, thanks very much and best of luck this weekend.
Boa sorte na luta e tudo de bom para você no fim de semana.
Next question is from Gabriel Pengalangan with Dojo Drifter.
Hello, sir. How are you doing? First of all, so you tested positive for COVID a few months ago. I'm just curious, how bad was it? How sick did you feel? And how did it affect your training camp?
Então, ele tá perguntando, né, essa questão de você ter tido corona há 2 meses atrás, se você realmente testou, né, para ver se tava com corona e como foi a situação para você, né, se você teve muitos sintomas, se atrapalhou o seu treino, como é que foi? Tá me ouvindo, Davidson? Davidson, tá me ouvindo? I think his internet went down.
Okay, no problem. We'll wait.
He's out. There was still some image for a little while, but wasn't responding. Lights down.
We are back with Deiveson. Gabriel, could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So Deiveson tested positive for coronavirus a few months ago. I'm just curious, how sick did you feel and how did it affect your training camp?
Ele está comentando sobre a situação, né, de você ter pegado o corona 2 meses atrás. Como que você se sentiu e quanto que isso atrapalhou o seu treino, se atrapalhou? Tá me ouvindo, Davidson? I think the internet there is not very well.
I'm checking in real quick.
Kind of funny in the rooms, depending on where you are. The internet gets a little bit better, a little bit worse.
Okay, we're back.
Alô?
Oi, tá me ouvindo?
Tô ouvindo.
Já eu vou perguntar então a última pergunta para você, tá? O colega perguntou, né, sobre a situação de você ter
Tá
tido
ouvindo.
Covid há 2 meses atrás. Como que você se sentiu, né? Se você teve sintomas e quanto te atrapalhou no treino? Se atrapalhou.
Então, quando eu tive Covid há 2 meses atrás, a minha luta ainda não estava marcada com o Benavides. E quando marcaram a luta, no início eu tive um pouco de dificuldade, porque estava saindo do Covid, né? Estava começando meu treinamento, mas logo eu pude fazer um treino bem intenso. E, como falei, a minha doutora estava sempre comigo, né? Que é a doutora Lia Correia, que é a minha nutricionista. E estava sempre comigo, sempre cuidando de mim. E logo eu tive uma performance boa, um gás muito bom no treino.
So initially, like as soon as I got the fight, I was just coming out of the symptoms. So training on the first few days wasn't the best, but my doctor was with me throughout the whole process, and it wasn't really long before I was feeling 100%.
Okay, and after that first fight with Benavidez, what did you learn about his fighting style, his power, his timing, his striking? What takeaways did you have from that fight?
Agora, depois da primeira luta do Benavides, né? O que você tirou de lição sobre o estilo dele, sobre as qualidades dele como lutador, né? O que você aprendeu na luta que você não sabia antes?
Bom, o Benavides é um cara que tem muitas falhas. Ele quase que não sabe atacar andando para trás. Então eu vou pressionar muito esse cara e visando as falhas dele. E vou nocauteá-lo e com um contra-golpe, isso ele pode ter certeza.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that new that I got from the fight, but we were able to confirm that he indeed doesn't deal very well with pressure, doesn't really deal well with having to walk backwards, and for sure I'm going to have to use that in my advantage for this fight again.
Okay, and lastly, some have said that if not for the headbutt that happened in the first fight, you may not have won the fight. What is your response to that?
E tem bastante gente comentando sobre a situação da cabeçada, que não fosse a cabeçada, talvez você não tivesse ganhado aquela primeira luta. O que você tem a dizer sobre isso?
É só o Benavides não usar a cabeça na próxima luta e eu vou mostrar para ele que eu posso vencê-lo a qualquer momento.
He said, just tell Benavides not to go forward with his head, that he's going to be fine with it.
All right, well, best of luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Our next question is from Marcelo Russo with Global TV.
Deiveson, tá me ouvindo?
Tô vendo.
Beleza. Cara, a primeira pergunta é sobre a tua motivação, né? Você teve uma luta que você dominou completamente a luta e acabou por uma questão de corte de peso não conseguindo ficar com o cinturão. Essa situação, misturada a questão do coronavírus, o corte de peso que pode ter sido prejudicado, a tua motivação para essa luta, como é que tá agora?
Cara, eu tô super motivado. Tivemos o coronavírus aí, né, que atrapalhou um pouquinho no início, mas quanto meus treinadores, a gente está preparado para vencer qualquer batalha. E estamos muito motivados também e viemos para levar esse cinturão conosco. Sábado vamos mostrar ao mundo que nós somos os verdadeiros donos do cinturão, então e treinamos para isso.
Perfeito. Você vem falando muito em nocautear o Benavides, você nocauteou muito bem na primeira luta. Mas essa agora vai ser uma luta de 5 rounds, né? Uma luta valendo cinturão, como aquela outra. Você está preparado fisicamente para, se a luta se prolongar, você continuar mantendo o nível que você vem mantendo no primeiro combate?
Isso pode ter certeza, sou um cara que eu treino para 10 rounds. E eu não sei até quando ele vai fugir de mim. Porque eu vou estar caçando ele todo tempo. E uma hora ele vai parar na minha frente e eu vou pegá-lo.
E o que você espera do Joseph Benavides nessa segunda luta? Ele já viu que você tem poder de nocaute, ele foi nocauteado por você. Você acha que ele vai mudar a estratégia dele para essa luta ou você acha que ele vai continuar com o mesmo plano?
Isso com certeza. Benavides ele vem com um jogo aí para bater e fugir. mas eu treinei para pegá-lo e ele não vai conseguir fugir por muito tempo.
Perfeito. Obrigado, Deiveson.
Our next question is from Diego Souza with Tribuna do Paraná.
Fala, Deiveson, beleza? Tá me ouvindo bem, cara?
Ouvindo sim.
Show de bola. Então, eu queria que você começasse falando, cara, como que toda essa confusão ali de viagem ou não viaja pode ter afetado ou não afetou em nada, você segue tranquilo aí para essa luta de sábado, cara?
Não afetou em nada, cara. Foi complicado no início, pelo tempo que ficamos 6 dias presos no hotel. E, graças a Deus, só queria sair desse hotel. E chegar à cidade da luta, e chegamos. Agora, o foco é perder peso, o restinho dos quilos que tem para tirar e sair pra porrada no sábado.
Show de bola, cara. E como que você vê toda essa movimentação aí do UFC, cara, para ter levado os eventos aí para Abu Dhabi? Como que tem sido aí seus primeiros dias em Abu Dhabi também, cara?
Os primeiros dias estavam sendo muito tranquilos, graças a Deus. Já estamos bem próximos do peso aí. E agora é só bater, cara. E dificuldades, elas existem, né? A gente está aí para quebrar, para conquistar recorde na carreira. E a gente quer esse título sábado e viemos para pegar.
Show, cara. Para fechar aqui da minha parte, questão de fuso horário, temperatura aí, que é muito quente também. O que você pode falar sobre isso e como que tem sido aí esse corte de peso com todas essas questões adversas aí?
Realmente a temperatura aqui é muito quente, mas a gente está usando ela a nosso favor, né? Está ajudando muito no corte de peso. E tanto que eu já estou aí bem próximo do peso, graças a Deus. E eu tenho certeza que no dia da luta vai estar um clima bem legal lá também. E se for para lutar no quente, vai ser melhor para mim, que eu venho de uma cidade que é quente pra caramba. O corpo já está adaptado ao calor.
Show de bola, Deiveson. Obrigadão, cara, e boa sorte. Tamo junto.
Amém.
Our last question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Deiveson, you mentioned that your weight cut is going much better this time. It would be an easier cut. What is the biggest difference for your weight cut this time versus the last fight with Benavidez?
Você mencionou que seu corte de peso está bem mais tranquilo dessa vez. Quais são as grandes diferenças que você teve nesse corte comparado com o anterior?
Agora eu fiz uma dieta bem certinha, graças a Deus, e isso fez com que meu peso descesse bastante. E viajar para a luta bem baixo também, no peso. E vou bater o peso bem tranquilo, sem sofrimento dessa vez.
So the main change was the diet. I took a lot more strict diet than before, just to make sure that I would travel at a lower weight and wouldn't have any issues during fight week.
And the UFC has mentioned they brought in, Alexandre Pantoja as a potential replacement if anything happened. Did that make you angry that happened, or did you understand because of what happened the last time why they did that?
O UFC trouxe o Alexandre Pantoja como um substituto para você caso tivesse algum problema na questão de peso. Isso é uma coisa que te incomodou? Como é que você se sentiu em relação a isso?
Isso não me incomodou em momento algum. Isso só me motivou mais ainda. E eu vou mostrar para ele que eu sou capaz de bater abaixo do peso.
No, it didn't really bother me. I understand what they're doing, but it did motivate me even more than before to make sure that I'm on weight, and it's a very good chance I'm going to be even a little bit under this time around.
Thank you very much, Deiveson.
Muito obrigado, Deiveson.
That's all the time we have for you today, Deiveson. Thank you. Essa foi a nossa última, tá, Deiveson? Obrigada.
Tá bom, nada. Tchau, tchau.
Tchau.
Não ainda.
Recording has stopped.
Hoy. Okay.
We're now joined by number 7 ranked UFC middleweight Kelvin Gastelum. Our first question goes to Gabriel Pengelangan with Dojo Drifter.
How are you doing, Kelvin?
How you doing? Everything's going well. I mean, I'm loving Abu Dhabi so far.
Yeah, I see that we love your outfit. How has it been on Fight Island? How are you adjusting to the heat and to the time zone?
Yeah, you know what? The heat is not really something I'm too worried about. I mean, I grew up doing construction and yard work in this kind of weather my entire life, so it's another day. Although I am spoiled in California now these days, but I'm used to it.
And it's been a crazy year and a half for you. You know, from falling out of the title shot, and then dropping 2 legendary fights, great fights, and now you're trying to avoid a 3-fight skid. Tell me, how has this past year and a half been for you?
Yeah, you know, it's been it didn't go my way quite. It didn't go quite my way in February. You know, I didn't get to fight for the title where I believed I would have been world champion, but then I didn't get to fight. I didn't get the nod in April, and then lost again in November. So yeah, it's been quite a roller coaster. You know, I've had to battle some demons this off time, and you know what? Actually, this pandemic was kind of a blessing in disguise because I was able to work through that. You know, I felt like I did fall into a little bit of depression. I did, you know, get into my feelings a little bit in my off time because of what had happened. I had a pretty tough year, but I mean, I worked through it. I had you know, I had an amazing camp, and I'm ready to go for Saturday.
Yeah, and how important do you think a win is this weekend in your run for the title?
Yeah, obviously it's super important if I want to get back to the title shot. But more than anything, I'm looking for self-validation more than anything. You know, I want to be able to prove to myself that I'm worthy and that I do belong here and that I am one of the best middleweights in the world. And I plan to show that on Saturday.
Yeah, that actually sets up my next question is, to whom are you really dedicating this fight to? You know, this hard time all around with the pandemic, but this seems like something you're doing for yourself. Is this also dedicated to other people?
Absolutely. I have so many people that help me out back at home, my trainers, my coaches, my family especially. They're the ones that put up with me and not seeing me for months because I'm away training, you know, and there's so many people that help me out behind the scenes that I think. And but like I said, yes, I am doing this for myself. At the end of the day, I'm looking for self-validation, and I'm looking to prove that I'm one of the best middleweights in the world.
All right, well, best of luck this weekend, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Next question is from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Kelvin, to go back to the outfit real quick, did you buy that at the store? Was it at the airport gift shop? Where do you get an outfit like that when everything's closed down in the bubble?
I got my ways here. I got my connections and resources down here, so don't you worry about. No, I'm kidding. I actually came last year for the Khabib fight, and me, Henry, and Kamaru, we actually ended up watching the fights with the Prince. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I just call him the Prince. And we ended up going to his house. We ended up, you know, when we arrived, first thing they give us is these outfits, and then they tell us there's going to be a tailor. He's going to come get your measurements, and he's going to make you a tailored. I forgot what it's called, but he made us a tailored one of these suits. And they gave us like 2 or 3 of these, and I figured it should probably be a good idea to bring one.
I mean, it's going to sound silly to ask about it again, but is it comfortable? Is it cooler to wear when you're out there? Talk to me about it.
I feel great. I feel great. You know, the fabric in this keeps me really cool, and it's really comfortable. Yeah.
You fought around the world, Brazil, you went to Australia, you were ready to go there. All this experience, but Fight Island has to be something different, right? For yourself, how do you file it in this story of your career?
Oh my God, it's probably The best event that I fought at, to be honest. I'm not just saying that. I mean, the customer service, the hospitality, the details and everything that is going on here, the security. I mean, everybody's just going above and beyond to make sure that here we fighters are well taken care of. And man, this has been the best place that I've ever fought at when it comes to the location.
It's been a few months since your fight in New York with Darren Till. A lot of people talked about that performance. Now, today, I guess, where are you at with that fight? What did you take away from that entire match?
Yeah, anybody that's seen me fight in the past and that's seen my fights knows that wasn't me at 100%. And I'd love to be able to run that one back. All credit to Darren Till. He fought a very great fight that night. But I feel like I wasn't at 100% that fight. And anybody that's seen me fight knows that. I think I'd like to be able to have a rematch with them.
That leads to my final question. Obviously, the fight is next week. Darren Till, Robert Whittaker. How do you see that one going down?
You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's a coin toss. I don't know who's going to win that one.
Thank you, Kelvin.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'll keep my eye on it, that's for sure.
Next question is from Ezequiel Bergazzi with Super Luchas.
Super Luchas.
Hola, Kelvin, ¿cómo estás?
¿Qué tal? ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien, te queda bien el look, está bastante bueno.
Gracias, gracias.
¿Cómo te preparaste para esta pelea por toda la pandemia y el coronavirus y eso?
La verdad es que no cambió mucho el schedule. Claro que tuvimos que mantenernos en la cuarentena unas semanas, pero la verdad es que tuve un grupo muy chiquito con los que entrené casi el tiempo entero. Y la verdad no cambió mucho, pero pues hubo que hacer unos ajustes, obviamente, pero la verdad no me afectó tanto estar fuera de durante esta pandemia.
¿Y qué estrategias tenés para enfrentarte a Jack Hermansson? ¿Qué ventajas crees que tenés contra un oponente como él?
Pues la verdad es que ¿verdad? Obviamente creo que yo puedo ganar en cualquier aspecto que se caiga la pelea. Sea en el boxeo, obviamente todos saben que me gusta boxear y la lucha, pues tengo mi cinta negra en el jiu-jitsu y también crecí luchando casi toda mi vida, pero no lo he mostrado en muchas de mis peleas, ¿no? Porque me gusta mucho boxear, pero ahí tengo esa herramienta.
El año pasado, si bien, o sea, tuviste 2 derrotas, una de ellas fue probablemente la mejor pelea de todo el año. Y después tuviste esta contra Darren Till, que bueno, vos dijiste que no estabas al 100%. ¿Cómo es todo ese proceso mental de, bueno, vengo de 2 derrotas y cómo te recompones de eso para encarar una próxima pelea? Que vos dijiste que tenías que probarte algo vos mismo, ¿no? Quería que si lo puedes explicar.
Sí, es que así es como me siento, ¿verdad? Tengo que probarme a mí mismo, ¿verdad? No es a la UFC, no es a todo el mundo, es a mí mismo, la verdad. Yo quiero probarme a mí mismo que pertenezco aquí encima de esta división, que pertenezco a ser uno de los mejores en el mundo y la verdad esas son las respuestas que estoy buscando para esta pelea.
¿Y cómo crees que te posicionaría? ¿Qué posición crees que te daría una victoria el sábado?
Yo creo que me entraría, dependiendo de cómo gane, sea una manera muy espectacular. Yo creo que me pondría otra vez en conversaciones de pelear por el título, pero obviamente hay que de nuevo subir en los rankings y es lo que planeo hacer, ¿no? Y yo creo que el primer paso es ganarle a Jack.
Bueno, mucha suerte el sábado.
Gracias.
Next question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Kelvin. When we spoke a couple months ago, you were coming out of the knee surgery, and you told me that you probably, stepped into the Darren Till fight a little sooner than you should have, coming out of the Adesanya fight. You mentioned your mental health Can you kind of give me a sense of like coming out of that, what it was like, and how you're feeling mentally going into this fight?
Yeah, 100%. I remember talking about it and telling you those exact things. And yeah, man, I had to battle some demons after coming from back-to-back losses. You know, I feel like I fell into a little depression phase. Absolutely, you know, it hit me hard in my life. This is my entire life, for the most part. It's my career right now, and so it affected me big time. And you know, I had to battle my own demons and get through it and get through this little minor depression phase that I got through. And then I got injured, and then, you know, things just weren't going my way, you know. So there's some personal demons that I had to battle, but you know, I eliminated those things. I conquered those demons, and here I am on the other side, well and ready to go. You know, I'm in a really good mental and physical place, which hasn't been the case in my last 2 fights. But here I am.
You mentioned to me at that point, Jack Hermansson was the guy you wanted to fight. Now, at that point, we thought maybe he was going to fight Chris Weidman. There was kind of some unknowns there. How happy were you that you kind of got to call your shot there?
Yeah, pretty happy with the matchup. You know, this is the fight that we wanted, so I was really happy and ecstatic. I think it's the perfect fight for me to get back on conversations, to fight for the title. I think, you know, obviously I have to work my way up the rankings again, but I think Jack is the #1 guy on my hit list right now, and I got a couple people on it.
He's obviously had some big wins at middleweight, and there's no shame, of course, in his last loss. But, you know, what do you think of Jack, and what does he bring into this fight? And in terms of your fight, you know, how dominant do you want to be? Like, do you want to have a kind of a showcase performance and say, hey, I'm back. I'm back in the title race?
Oh, absolutely. You know, at this point, I'm looking for self-validation. Not validation from the UFC, not validation from the rest of the world. That self-validation. I want to be able to prove to myself that I'm one of the best middleweights in the world with a dominant fashion, with a dominant win. And I think I want to showcase that I am separate from the pack, and that's what I intend to do.
And my last question, I'm not going to ask you to call your shot because your focus is Jack Hermansson, but you mentioned Darren Till, that rematch you wanted, but Robert Whitaker on the other side of that fight is a fight you never got to have. We talked about it for so long. It was supposed to happen, and then it didn't happen. Is that a fight, you know, in terms of maybe just the winner of that fight?
Oh, absolutely. I'm keeping my eyes on that fight for sure. You know, I thought I wanted a rematch before. You know, I've had losses in the past where I felt like Neil Magny was a fight that I wanted a rematch with, Tyron Woodley as well. But man, the feeling that I got after that Darren Till fight was unlike any other that I felt before. And I really, you know, anybody that's seen my fights and seen me fight in the past knows that that's not me. You know, that wasn't me fighting, you know, and all credit to Darren Till. You know, he had a phenomenal, great game plan that night, and he beat me fair and square. But I feel like, you know, me at 100% mentally and physically, there's nobody in the world that can beat me.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Up next, we have Louise Green with MMA Crazy.
Hi, Kelvin. Obviously, like you were saying, the last 2 didn't go your way. So how important is it for you to get the win here on Saturday and get you back on track? But do you feel any pressure going into this one?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of pressure just because, you know, I'm coming back from back-to-back losses. But at the same time, you know, I'm not looking at validation from the UFC. I'm not looking at validation from the rest of the world. I'm looking for self-validation at this point. You know, I want to be able to prove it to myself that I belong here and that I am one of the top middleweights in the world. And with a win over Jack, I think that, you know, it'll put me back into conversations to fight for the title. And, you know, I think that's the ultimate plan for me.
And like you said, this was obviously a matchup that you wanted. What do you think you can expect to see from Hermansson on Saturday, and how do you see the fight going down?
Yeah, we're both coming off losses. We're both hungry to get back on that win column. So, man, expect a good fight between 2 hungry fighters, 2 hungry contenders that want to rise up to the rankings again. So, you know, I'm in a really good mental and physical space at the moment. I really enjoyed the process of this camp, which hasn't been the case in the past. So I'm just feeling really good.
And your fight with Adesanya obviously was fight of the year back in 2019. And I know that obviously that's a fight that you want to get back, but how do you think he's going to do against Paulo Costa? How do you see that going down?
Yeah, I think it can go either two ways. I think Paulo Costa's biggest strength could be his demise. You know, he comes forward, presses the gas tank at all times, and I think if you make a mistake coming forward against Adesanya, he will find a space and put you out. And you know, I just think he's really skilled. But I think I've been in the cage with him for 25 minutes. I feel next time will be a different result next time we get in the cage together.
All right, thank you so much for the time.
And our last question is from Alfredo Bush with Claro Sports.
Kelvin, ¿cómo estás? Buen día.
Buen día, Álvaro. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, afortunadamente. Y yo creo que también te lo estás pasando muy bien por allá. Oye, platícame un poquito, ¿cómo te sientes estos meses? ¿Cómo han sido para ti la pandemia y demás? Escuchaba que te ha parecido una bendición a ti. ¿Cómo lo has vivido?
Sí, la verdad que fue una ¿cómo se dice? A blessing in disguise, una bendición descubierto, ¿verdad? Porque pues he podido aliviarme de cosas, o sea, ¿verdad? Trabajar por unos problemas que he tenido personalmente y profesionalmente, y pude trabajar esos problemas, ajustar mi vida de una manera donde estoy bien, ¿verdad? Mentalmente y físicamente estoy en un muy buen lugar, y la verdad es que me siento listo para la pelea.
Estuviste muy cerca del título, tuviste la pelea de campeonato. ¿Cómo regresar de lo que has vivido en los últimos meses, pensando y por supuesto teniendo la mira en alcanzar el cinturón?
Perdón, repíteme otra vez la pregunta.
Claro, te decía, estuviste muy cerca de conseguir el título, tuviste la pelea por el campeonato, y ahora ¿cómo te sientes? ¿Cómo pones de nueva cuenta la mira en conseguir ese cetro?
Sí, otra vez, pues, ¿verdad? El año pasado no fue mi año, entonces creo que me fui por una fase donde me estuve deprimido, ¿no? Un poco deprimido, pero la verdad es que trabajé esos problemas, ya sobrepasé todo eso, y la verdad es que me encantó el proceso de esta pelea, el proceso de este campamento de entrenamiento. Me encantó levantarme todos los días a irme a entrenar, a hacer la dieta, perder el peso. Me ha gustado todos los días este proceso. Entonces estoy muy bien mentalmente y físicamente, estoy en un muy buen lugar, y pues yo creo que se va a mostrar en la pelea también.
Perfecto. La última de mi parte, Kelvin, platícame un poquito, ¿cómo visualizas la pelea el sábado? ¿Cómo te la has imaginado?
Pues de muchas maneras, ¿no? Obviamente quiero ganar lo más espectacular posible, de ser, ¿verdad? En una pelea muy dominante, pero pues también se espera una guerra de 15 minutos, si ese es el caso, ¿no? Y la verdad es que siento que puedo ganarle en cualquier aspecto de la pelea, sea arriba, sea abajo. Yo creo que soy mejor en cualquier lugar.
Perfecto, Kelvin. Muchas gracias, mucha suerte el sábado. Que te vea muy bien.
Gracias.
That's all we have for you today, Kelvin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC Flyweight Luana Carolina. Please use the hand icon if you wish to ask any questions, and don't forget to take down your hand once you're done. We are now joined by UFC Flyweight Luana Carolina. Our first question is from Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sports. Andrew, your line has been unmuted.
Carolina, how are you feeling ahead of this one? How's everything treated you so far at Yas Island?
Como que tá a Ilha da Luta até agora para você? Como que você está se sentindo aqui?
Estou me sentindo muito bem. Tá tranquilo, eu acho que é uma das melhores eventos, né, até hoje. Então, a parte de acomodação, a parte de poder treinar, tá muito bem, tô muito bem.
Yeah, I'm very relaxed. I'm feeling really well. The accommodations here, the workout rooms we have here, I never seen anything like it. I'm really, really happy, and I'm feeling really well for the fight.
With everything that's been going on and this being pretty special circumstances, does it feel like a landmark in your career? Does it feel special?
Com tudo que está acontecendo, né, no mundo e aqui, você acha que isso é um marco na tua carreira, que é uma parada que vai ficar para sempre?
Sim, eu acho por tudo que está acontecendo aqui, eu poder estar trabalhando, não só aqui, mas tudo que está acontecendo no mundo, a gente poder trabalhar é algo muito bom para qualquer atleta, é o sonho de qualquer atleta, tá podendo trabalhar ainda mais num local como esse, né?
Yeah, for me it's a dream come true, you know, to be here in the midst of all that's happening, to be able to work, to be able to come back and be able to fight the fight that I had scheduled twice already. I'm really happy, and with everything that's been going on here, this hotel, the whole Yas Island, I'm really happy to be here and to be having the opportunity to fight here.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Gabriel Gonzalez with Kate Cypress.
Luana, you've had several fights fall apart since last year. How does it feel to finally be here? You're about 3 days away from the fight, and it's finally going to happen. You're finally going to get back into competition.
Pô, você teve monte de luta que caiu, né? A sua luta na China, a luta com a Ariane foi remarcada várias vezes. E agora só faltam 3 dias para você voltar. Como você está se sentindo de finalmente voltar?
Finalmente! Tô muito feliz de poder voltar, de finalmente poder trabalhar assim, fazer o que eu amo. Como você mesmo disse, caiu a luta primeiro na China, depois a luta com a Ariane foi remarcada várias vezes, e eu tô podendo agora 3 dias para poder fazer o que eu tô quase 1 ano na vontade, que é lutar, né?
Finally, I'm really happy to be back. Like you said, I had that China fight last year that fell down. Then I had the Ariane fight rescheduled a lot of times. And now I'm here, 3 days away for the fight, 3 days away to be back to do what I love. And I can't wait. I just want to get into the cage and go back to work.
I know you can't talk about the game plan, but what are some of the advantages of having so much extra time to prepare for Ariane?
Precisa falar do teu plano de jogo, mas quais são algumas das vantagens de ter tido tanto tempo para se preparar para lutar com a Ariane?
Eu consegui estudar muito bem ela, assim, até antes mesmo de saber que eu ia lutar contra ela. Eu já assisti as lutas dela, o fato também dela ser brasileira, e eu torcia muitas vezes, muitas lutas dela, eu estava torcendo por ela, então meio que eu já sabia o estilo dela. Então, eu acho que isso eu consigo colocar ao meu favor e conseguir fazer uma estratégia, a melhor estratégia para a luta, né?
Yeah, I've been watching Ariane for these past few years. I was always cheering for her since she started showing up, you know, since I always cheer for Brazilian fighters. So I had a lot of time to study her game, to watch all of her fights. And I'm really confident, you know, I had a lot of time to prepare, to know where she's good at. So I really think that my game plan is going to be a great one for this fight.
What does she bring to the table that makes her a dangerous fighter?
O que você traz pro MMA que te faz uma lutadora perigosa?
Ah, eu sou uma lutadora resistente, eu acho que isso para a luta conta muito. Eu sou resistente, eu também sou agressiva, eu gosto da trocação, mas eu acredito que eu sou uma lutadora completa. Se for pro chão, para mim também tranquilo, se for trabalhar jiu-jitsu, se for trabalhar queda, tanto defender quanto quedar. Assim, eu não tenho medo de trabalhar tanto em pé ou quanto em cima. Então, eu acho que isso... E é meio que surpreendente. Eu acho que todo mundo que vai lutar contra mim não sabe literalmente o que eu vou ou não vou fazer. Eu posso fazer o que tiver na minha cabeça, tudo que eu planejei ou coisas que eu fiz durante o treino eu posso usar na luta. Eu não sou só tipo arroz e feijão, sabe?
Yeah, I'm not like your rice and butter, not your basic fighter, you know. I'm very resilient, I'm very aggressive. I've been training a lot on my ground game, I've been training a lot on my wrestling, and now I feel like I'm a complete fighter, you know. I think everybody who watches me and who knows me are in for a big surprise on Saturday. I'm a different fighter than ever, you know, and I'm ready to show who really is Luana Carolina.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Luana. Thank you. We are now joined by UFC flyweight Ariane Lipski. Can you hear us?
Hi, sorry. Yes, I can.
Our first question is from Gabriel Gonzalez with Kate Side Press.
Hello, Ariane.
Hello.
This is the third time the fight has been scheduled. Can you describe what it's like to have it moved several times and now it's finally going to happen and on Fight Island of everywhere in the world?
So I've been training for this fight since February, so I'm feeling very, very prepared for this. And when they postponed my fight for the Fight Island, so I was very excited. You know, I was not sad. I was excited to show how much I have improved my game. And we were asking for opportunity in the Fight Island. So I'm feeling very, very happy with this moment.
You signed a new 4-fight contract. You don't usually see fighters who went 1 and 2 getting a new deal like that. What does it mean to you that the UFC thinks you're very popular and very exciting, that they want to just make this a long-term relationship with you to keep you in the promotion?
It's because people like my style. No, I'm from Curitiba. I'm striking. When I fight, I just push hard. I fight with my heart, and everybody knows it. Everybody can see that when it's real, and I think it's for that the UFC can
recognize.
It's because it's for that that UFC recognize our job. You know, it's because it's real. It's because I fight with my feelings, my heart, and I feel very happy for that. Now I will fight with no pressure.
What's it like? Because obviously you did great work over in KSW, but now in the UFC, so much more attention. It's I'm assuming your popularity has grown, social media, everything. What's it like to go from that promotion to now everyone wants to talk to you?
So before I came to UFC, I was like in a very hard moment in my career, not about the results. It's because I had 3 injuries consecutive, and when I went to UFC, so I fought against JoJo, and she's a very tough opponent. So my last year, I learned a lot, I improved a lot. You know, I'm growing as a fighter. And after I get this new contract, after I get my new my first win in UFC, now I'm confident again, you know, and I want to show it. I want to show I'm prepared to, for sure, I'm very, very focused on my next fight, on get this win. But after this fight, I think I'm prepared to go to the rank.
Final question, how do you see yourself winning the fight against Luana?
Sorry?
Como é que você se vê vencendo essa luta?
Oh, I'm every day, every night, every moment. I can see me win this fight by KO. I really want this. I will try this, but I know I can. Maybe it can happen by submission because I improve a lot my MMA game. But if it doesn't happen, I don't care. You know, I will prepare to show how much I have improved. I will fight with my heart. I will push hard since the beginning to the end.
Thank you, Ariane.
Thank you so much.
Our next question is from Gabriel Pengalangan with Dojo Drifter.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great. So, you know, you've had a rough start in your career in the UFC, losing 2 fights, but you finally got your first win last November. Do you think that you had to just get those jitters out of the way and now you found your groove in the UFC?
Você acha que você precisou passar por o que você passou no início da sua carreira no UFC para passar o nervosismo de estar no UFC e aí vencer?
Yes, I think it was not about nervous, it's about the time, you know. I was not in my best moment, and I was like, before I came to UFC, I was with injury. I had 3 injuries, and now I'm very, very healthy. You know, I'm feel stronger, and I grown a lot with my last year. I think the hard moments is in the past, and now it's good. It's time to good moments.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure you saw that fight between Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Weili. You know, it's seen as the greatest female fight in history. I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you think that was the greatest fight in female MMA history?
Yes, I think this is one of my favorite fights. You know, when I saw this, like, I felt very inspired, and they inspired me a lot. And before I go to fight, for sure I will watch this fight again, and I will try to do my best, and I will fight with the same feeling that they felt.
Yes, and actually, your opponent, just like you, is a very exciting striker, great striking, and your matchup has the potential of becoming a highlight of the year. Do you think that your fight will provide those fireworks?
Essa luta sua tem um potencial para ser uma das melhores do ano. Você acha que vai ser? Você acha que vai ser esse show?
Yes, I will be prepared for that. But like I said before, I want to win I want to win this fight by KO in the first round. I will try it, but if it doesn't happen, for sure it will be like one of the best fights in the year for sure.
All right. Well, best of luck with that, and I will be tuning in this weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from Diego Souza with Tribuna do Paraná.
Olá, Ariane, tudo bem? Tá me ouvindo bem aí?
Oi, Diego, tudo bem e você?
Beleza, vamos lá então. Eu queria que você começasse falando sobre toda essa logística e toda essa movimentação que o UFC fez aí para realizar os eventos em Abu Dhabi. Como que tem sido para ti isso e como que você vê, né, toda a organização aí do UFC para que rolem os eventos?
Nossa, eu tô muito feliz mesmo por estar lutando na Ilha da Luta. Eu tô impressionada com a estrutura do UFC. Desde São Paulo, tinha toda uma equipe esperando a gente para preparar a gente para trazer para a ilha. Desde o voo, eu tô realmente impressionada com o que o UFC está fazendo, com o que o Dan White fez para que a ilha realmente acontecesse. Então, eu me sinto privilegiada de estar lutando na ilha, de estar fazendo a segunda luta do card principal, em que vai ter uma disputa de cinturão para o Brasil. Então, acredito que é o reconhecimento do nosso trabalho, né, de tudo que a gente tem feito, do nosso estilo de ir para cima, de colocar coração na luta, mas eu me sinto muito feliz e realizado por estar aqui, então eu vou dar show nesse dia para mostrar o quanto eu estou feliz.
Show de bola. E como que tem sido esses primeiros dias com relação à questão de fuso horário, de temperatura, né? Aí é muito quente, você saiu aqui de Curitiba que estava bem frio e tal.
Olha, eu vou falar pra você que eu não estranhei muito, porque aqui a gente fica só no ar-condicionado, né? Como lutar nos Estados Unidos também, a gente fica dentro do hotel, no ar-condicionado. Em questão ao fuso horário, a gente já tá bem acostumada, né? Eu viajei, já lutei na Polônia, já lutei na Irlanda, então eu tô bem mais focada em estar descansada, em dormir, em estar bem treinada, e no dia da luta eu sei que quando a adrenalina chega, não importa o horário que seja a luta, eu vou estar preparada.
Legal. E para fechar da minha parte aqui, eu tinha conversado com a Luana esses dias e ela já tinha elogiado bastante você, falando que você é uma lutadora bem agressiva. E você, o que você pode falar dela, né?
A Luana tem muito coração também. Todo mundo tá falando que tem tudo para ser uma das melhores lutas do ano, e eu fico muito feliz por isso. E foi por isso que eu me preparei muito bem para essa luta. Eu tô treinando para essa luta desde fevereiro, então não tem como eu mostrar o quanto mais respeito por ela do que isso, que é dando o meu melhor, dando o meu máximo, estando muito preparada para enfrentar ela. E estou feliz tem pessoas que falam, triste, né? Luta contra duas brasileiras, mas eu posso ver de outra maneira. Duas brasileiras lutando no card principal nesse momento, na Ilha da Luta. Então, isso mostra como as brasileiras estão muito bem dentro do UFC. A gente está, no topo. É uma oportunidade muito boa para mim, muito boa para ela. Então, tem tudo para ser uma ótima luta. E eu vou mostrar isso dentro do cage.
Show, valeu, Ariane. Muito obrigado. Boa sorte, tamo junto.
Obrigada, Rei.
Valeu.
Our next question is from Diego Ribas with AG Fight. Diego, can you hear us? Diego, sua linha já está aberta. I think we're having some technical issues here. Let's jump to Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sports. Andrew? Okay, that's all we have for you today, Ariane. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Bye bye.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC lightweight Rafael Fiziev. We are now joined by UFC lightweight Rafael Fiziev. Our first question is from Gabriel Pengalengan with Dojo Drifter.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
So you're coming in as a late replacement for this fight just last month. So how happy are you with the time you've had to train and prepare for this fight?
То, что ты как бы на замену вышел, насколько ты доволен подготовкой, временем на подготовку?
I'm already start camp before this fight because my manager say me I have a fight June maybe in Kazakhstan before this bad situation in the world, and I start my camp long time before, you know, and when my manager say me you have fight with this guy, I'm already, you know, just happy to go to him to fight.
Okay, and you have 5 wins by TKO or knockout. And would you say your striking is very, very explosive? Would you say you're one of the best strikers in the lightweight division?
Считаешь ли ты себя одним из лучших ударников в легком весе?
Absolutely no, absolutely no, and I need more work. Need go up more and every day.
Who are some of the strikers at lightweight that you think are better strikers than you?
Кто лучше ударник, чем ты в UFC?
No, I think have many guys.
All right, and do you have a prediction for this weekend? How do you end the fight against Marc?
Прогноз.
Прогноз maybe?
Ну да, как ты думаешь, бой пройдет?
I think we're together, understand this, you know, we're together. My opponent and me, we are strikers, and we together won't finish, you know. I think he won't finish me, I won't finish him, and everyone in UFC won't take bonus, you know. I think this is crazy fight, you know, just like to train, you know, like this.
So do you think you'll be going home with the Fight of the Night award, post-fight bonus?
We'll see.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that fight, and we'll be tuning in this weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And you know, you did say you need more work on your striking, but you had a ton of Muay Thai fights as an amateur, professional fights, MMA. Do you think that Marc is on your level as a striker?
Думаешь ли он на твоем уровне?
Yeah, he good striker. He good striker. He have good basic, you know. He have many dangerous technique, you know, and I don't know how to say. He dangerous too, but.
I'm more dangerous.
Yeah.
Did you watch a lot of tape on Mark coming into this? Are you the type of fighter who studies your opponent, or do you focus more on yourself?
Много ли ты боев его смотрел при подготовке?
Yes, of course, of course. I see many his fights, you know, like last fights and how he win, how he lost, what he do in this situation, what he do in this situation. Just try know everything.
We've heard a lot of talk about the difficulties fighting in Abu Dhabi, be it the heat, the quarantine ahead of this, the pandemic, and struggling to find training partners, even the time difference. You're going to be fighting closer into the morning in some cases. What are you expecting for this fight in terms of the time and how it's going to affect things?
Типа с временем, то, что неудобно.
То, что другой климат, время, то, что во время пандемии, может, было проблемы с партнерами. Как думаешь, на тебя может повлиять то, что вы будете драться, возможно, ночью, утром?
About my camp, about my training in the gym in Thailand, everything is good, I think, because in Thailand have many good fighters, many good opponents with him I train every day. And in this pandemic, this quarantine, we train every day still, we don't stop, you know. And about time, you know, just this not comfortable time, because we fight morning, you know, and but we change all day, you know. We go sleep early, and wake up early too, early morning, and change already and feel good.
All right. Well, thanks very much for the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Our next question is from Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sport.
Yeah, how's it going? You spent a lot of your time fighting out in Asia. So how important was that time fighting in Korea? You had a perfect spell with Road FC, couple of really impressive first-round knockouts. How significant was that part of your career in giving you the momentum to where you are now?
Ну, нет, он говорит, ты много дрался в Азии, говорит, и особенно в Корее, в Road FC, и насколько этот период твоей карьеры был важен для тебя, чтобы продвинуться туда, где ты есть сейчас?
Yes, of course, this time, Road FC time in Korea, and this is кстати, да, это типа то, что меня продвинуло.
Yeah, this is like a most important parts of my career, just to push me forward in my career. Дальше что скажешь?
And I don't know what to say more.
Скажи, без этого опыта, например.
Yeah.
Я здесь не было UFC experience.
Yeah. I fight in Asia in Road FC, and many have like what you say. This is a big experience, you know. Like, and help me go to UFC, you know, go to this moment.
Can you tell us a bit about what training's been like at Tiger Muay Thai for you in the past few years? It seems like an amazing environment over there. How's it been for you day to day training in that environment?
Расскажи именно до пандемии, именно расскажи о тренировках в Тайгере. Ты уже почти 2 года, больше 2 лет там. Именно об условиях тренировок в Тайгере расскажи в обычное время.
You see, bro, now before this pandemic, you see Valentina Shevchenko loved Tiger. She trained in Tiger many times. Alexander Volkanovski, he trained in Tiger many years. Peter Yan, he trained in Tiger too. You know, this, and have many fighters. Like this big gym, you know, and have many interesting, strong fighters, you know. And everyday training is hard. Everyday training is interesting, like every day new, you know, not the same. And yes, I think it's good gym now in the world. This is like one of the top gym, you know, one of the best gyms in the world, you know, now. And like this.
With Peter Yan winning the belt, they've got, you mentioned there, 3 UFC champions. That's pretty unbelievable. Did you feel pretty inspired, and do you feel pretty inspired seeing UFC champions coming out of the gym like that with all 3 of them?
Ну, тебя то, что вдохновляет, то, что у Тайгера как бы есть 3 чемпиона, которые в UFC. Это вдохновляет.
Yeah, of course. This example, you know, this example. When I spar with this guy, when I train with these guys, this big example and big this push me forward, you know, when I see how this guy train in the gym where I train, you know. We train same time, and I see how these guys train and how I train with these guys. This push me forward, you know. This just push me forward.
Last one from me, mate. Heading into this one, you're actually a Fight Island veteran. You fought in Phuket, Primal FC. You fought on the beach, first round knockout. Is that experience at all comparable to this, or is this a whole different level for you?
Ты, говорит, уже ветеран бойцовских островов, ты уже один раз дрался на пляже Primal FC, и, говорит, этот опыт Primal FC как-то сравним с тем, что сейчас здесь происходит или нет? It is crazy, you know, when I see this cage in the beach, I send this photo to my manager and I say, hey bro, what is this crazy shit? How we fight in a beach, you know? And my manager say, hey, you're stupid. Hey, you don't fight in the beach, you know? You already fight in the beach one time and this is finished. But this you know, Fight Island, you know, it look like crazy, you know? It look like movie. It look like movie from like Mortal Kombat or something, you know, like this. Have Fight Island, and people go there fight, you know, like this look like, you know, crazy and happy.
Thanks, mate. Good luck.
That's all we have for you today, Rafael. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by number 6 ranked UFC middleweight Jack Hermansson. Please use the hand icon if you wish to ask any questions, and don't forget to take down your hand once you're done. We are now joined by UFC middleweight Jack Hermansson. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey Jack, you said You said you were very happy that you ended up getting a fight with Kelvin after the Weidman fight was canceled. Can you just explain a little more about why you like this fight a lot more?
It's basically about the rankings, and that Kelvin is a little bit more relevant in the top of the middleweight division. So I feel like a fight against him is gonna push me towards the top 5. So that's why I like the fight.
This is going to be a big 2 weeks in the middleweight division. Obviously, your fight. Then you have next week Darren Till, Robert Whittaker. Is there more pressure to have that big, exciting performance, a big finish, because you want to stand out amidst all these fights going on?
Yeah, not just now. I feel like the pressure is there all the time, man. I put the pressure on myself, and I know what my goals are. So I don't feel more pressure now than before, but the pressure is always there.
What does Kelvin bring to the table that makes him a dangerous opponent?
I think Kelvin brings very dangerous hands. I think that's his most dangerous weapon. But he also has a wrestling background, so he can handle that as well. And he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he's an all-round fighter. And he's fought some of the best, and yeah, he's done very good. So he's a top fighter. I think his hands is his most dangerous weapon.
And do you have a prediction who wins between Till and Whitaker next Saturday?
Super hard to predict, but I give a small edge to Whitaker, just because he has a championship background, being a multiple-time champion. So I think that Whitaker will edge that one out.
Thank you, Jack. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Gabriel Pengelingen with Dojo Drifter.
Jack, how are you doing?
Good, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing good. So how does it feel to be in Fight Island? I understand it's slightly cold, it's slightly warmer than where you come from. How is it being there, dealing with the heat, the time zones and everything?
It has been good, actually. I prepared for the time zone at home a couple of weeks, so that was no problem. And the heat is real, but I try to stay inside, you know, and not get exposed too much, because it's warmer than anything I ever experienced before.
And you've had a meteoric rise, of course, coming off that loss to Cannonier. What did you learn from that fight that you think you'll bring into the fight this weekend?
I think I learned that I need to keep my mind in the fight and see what is happening in the fight and take decisions from that, and not just stay inside my head. That's the main thing.
All right, and when it comes to your assessment of Kelvin Gastelum, you actually mentioned it earlier, but is there an aspect of his game that you prepare for specifically, or do you just work on, you know, your game plan and your skills?
It has been mainly to prepare for a southpaw opponent, because he stands southpaw and it's extremely different than to fight the orthodox fighter. So that has been something that has been a focus in my preparation.
All right, and the current champ of your division, Israel Adesanya. You know, you're not looking past Gastelum, but what's your assessment of the current champ?
Great fighter. He truly looks incredible, and he has some of the most awesome striking in the sport. But I'm a little bit unsure of his grappling skills. They might be just as good, but we haven't seen so much of it yet. So that's a part that I'm interested in.
So when you imagine maybe fighting for the title in the future, would you like it to be against a fighter at the caliber of Adesanya?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to fight Adesanya, and I'm sure it will happen.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with everything. We'll tune into your fight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our next question is from Jay Anderson with Kate Side Press.
Thanks very much. And Jack, you know, it felt like you were really, really close prior to the Cannonier fight in terms of the title picture and everything. Do you think a big performance this weekend can get you back to where you were, or even closer, especially given there's not a ton of activity right now because of the pandemic?
Yeah, definitely. If I win this fight in great fashion, I believe that I'm back where I were, and yeah, I can just see a natural development up there in the top. I feel like Adesanya is gonna fight Costa, then Cannonier needs a title fight, and of course we have the fight between Till and Whitaker, and I should fight the winner of that fight and be the next contender.
What did you take away from the Cannonier fight? What sort of adjustments did you make coming out of that?
It was mostly a mental thing, where I feel like I need to trust the work that we're putting in my training, and to be able to follow the game plan, basically. I feel like that's one of the most important things that I took from that fight.
And you mentioned the Costa fight for Israel. Last one for me. How do you see that going?
That's gonna be a crazy fight. I'm really looking forward to it. And Alexander is a wizard, but I feel like Costa has a physical style and some pressure that is just unbelievable, and I believe that he can give Alexander trouble. I give a small edge to Costa in that one.
All right, thanks very much. Best of luck this.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We are now joined by UFC lightweight Marc Diakiese. Our first question is from Jay Anderson with Side Press.
Thank you very much. And Mark, I was wondering if you could tell us, with the London card being canceled last minute, just how devastating was that for you, especially after putting in the time, the effort, and not to mention the money into it.
Yeah, it was very not nice to get obviously being cancelled, but I just take everything as it comes. I just, took some time off and just went back to get to training again. I was hoping to get another match up at some point, but I didn't know when I was fighting, so I was just hoping for the best.
A lot of fighters have struggled to put camps together. Some have trained at home. So talking about that training, how has it been for you in terms of dealing with the pandemic and the restrictions?
Well, since, like I said, I carried on training because I was out in Holland for my camp for 8 weeks. When I came back, I found out I wasn't fighting. I just carried on training. But I've got like a small team around me that it didn't really like affect me that much. So I carry on training with my team.
And this was originally supposed to be against Alan Patrick. So what sort of adjustments have you had to make for Rafael?
Rafael, I think it was somebody else before that, to be honest. I think, what's his name? Jai Herbert was supposed to fight as well. And that fight didn't go through. But this guy, I've trained in Holland, is a kickboxing gym. They're very good at it. They understand how this guy fights. And I've dealt with some guys who have a lot of pressure than he brings. And so for this game, this fight, it's just me being free, being me, just, going to have fun.
And last one for me, there are a lot of UK-based fighters taking part on the Fight Island cards. a lot of up-and-coming talent. Do you think we're going to see another British champion emerge soon?
Now I do believe so, yeah, because a lot of fighters were going like over to America. We're not really doing it anymore. They're all staying over and they're all mixing up. So wrestling was bad, but I think we picked up on that, and I do feel now we're gonna get a lot of champions coming out of England.
Well, looking forward to it. Looking forward to your performance this weekend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Gabriel Pengelangen with Dojo Drifter.
Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. You can't really see, but I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. Glad you're doing well. So you fought all over Europe, and then in the UFC, you fought in the US. How does it feel to be where you are now, days away from fighting on Fight Island?
It feels great. I've really been taking care of out here as well, so everything runs smooth, and I've literally just focused on the fight. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of canceled bouts. I think it's 3 canceled bouts leading up to this fight. You were supposed to fight back in March. How does it feel to be getting back in there in the octagon with all these delays and all the pandemic and everything happening?
I'm just grateful to Dana White for putting this through, and I'm actually having to fight. Even though this is happening, but I'm having to fight. I'm just grateful for that. But everything's going great, so I'm here, and I'm gonna fight.
Yeah, and do you watch a lot of tape of your opponent? Is that how you prepare for a fight? And have you seen a lot of tape on your opponent?
I've watched maybe two tapes, but then I started to leave that to my team to really just to look at him and give me the game plan that I need, and I'll go and try to implement the game plan.
Yeah, so this is Dutch kickboxing versus Thai kickboxing this weekend. You're pretty confident Dutch kickboxing will come out on top?
What type of kickboxing is that?
Dutch kickboxing, because you said
his kickboxing. I'm not sure what it is. I think he does Thai.
Oh yeah, he is Thai.
Yeah, he's very experienced. I think he's had about 200 fights, but we're not kickboxing and we're not doing Thai. We're doing MMA, so anything goes. And I feel I've got a lot of different variety. I throw a lot of different things that it is not really used to, and it's gonna be a fun fight.
Yeah, and I asked this to your opponent earlier. Do you think you'll be taking home that fight of the night bonus at the end of the day?
I believe in that. Yeah, he's the perfect guy for it. He comes forward, he swings. So I believe I'm ready for that.
All right. Well, we can't wait for your fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Mark. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
We're now joined by number 2 ranked UFC flyweight Joseph Benavidez. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very good, man. Thank you for joining.
It's been a minute since the last fight. You've now had a couple months to think about it. Just what are your overall thoughts on the first matchup now months later?
I mean, I obviously say I wish we didn't even have to do a rematch, and I would have just finished it there. You know, that's my initial thought. I thought, you know, I was on the road too, and that would have been great. Then I wouldn't have to go through all this or all that I did go through to get to this one. But, you know, make it sweeter in a way to go in there and get the redemption. It's obviously great that it lined up with the Fight Island, and I get to experience this. This is great and fresh and just pure for me to do this. So that's really good too. But yeah, I mean, in general, I just look at that fight and I'm just like, should have just beat him then.
I mean, with everything going on, with the way the first fight went down, when you go back to training, is there a lot of tactical changes you feel you need to make? Is it more mental, just feeling like you need to be more dialed in than you were the first time? Talk to me about mentally preparing for an instant rematch.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of it is technically. I mean, mentally, my preparation and everything leading up to it was, you know, if you heard any of my interviews and just kind of what I felt there, like I never felt better in that regard and the preparation. I mean, it was literally perfect for me. That part of it was perfect. When I say, like, you know, when people say they have the best camp and preparation of their life and stuff, they typically just say that. Like, I can point to 2 camps that I had the best preparation, and that was one of them. So, you know, in that regard, there wasn't a lot of changing, but, you know, tactically, you do get some data from the fight and what it feels like to be in there with him. I have great coaches, so I let them handle that more so. And, you know, don't try to obsess on it and just try to get better than I was the last time and listen to what they tell me as far as the changes that they think we should make.
I'm sure you've asked this a lot, but just really, you know, considering it's on Fight Island, considering the way the last one went and everything else, can you put into words what it would mean to you to pick up that belt on Saturday?
I mean a lot, you know, I mean, winning the belt in the UFC is a dream for every single person that walks into an MMA gym, you know, so for me, it's been like a lifelong up and down, you know, bumpy journey with a lot of adversity in between it. So, I mean, you can't put into words, honestly, I think what it would feel like. I mean, dedicating your life to something and having it like, you know, the highest highs of it, but also having it ripping your heart out, then finally like getting it. I don't know how it's gonna feel. You know, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it's hard to be like, oh, I'm done and I arrived, you know, like, because there's still something else to do. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be hard to put into words, but like, that's what's great about it is you can't describe that feeling until you feel it. And that's, you know, that's why you fight. Like, you don't know how the fight's going to go, how it's going to feel in there. And you just, you know, you don't know how it's going to, how great it's going to feel. You can probably not even imagine it. And so, yeah, I think it's hard to put into words, but like I said, at the same time, I feel like I go back and I just be like, you know what? I should have just done that last time. I should have just done that in February.
Final one from me. It's 1,000 degrees around Abu Dhabi. Most of you guys are in quarantine. Are you even able to do a Fight Island Dapper Scrappers?
Sadly not. Sadly not. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's been not good. Dapper Scrappers is really taking a hit with the quarantine because you're not really allowed at any of the fights and the way things are going. You know, there's no crowd and really access to anybody. So, and people, you know, you just don't care what you wear when you're in quarantine also. So it doesn't make for a really good one anyway. So, you know, no one's coming in quarantine and being like, hey, I should wear a suit right now because they know I'm not there taking pictures of them. So these guys don't care. But yeah, so it's taking a hit, but you know, just like everyone says, when things are back to normal, so will that be. So thanks for the shout out. Thanks for asking.
Hey, hopefully we're back to that soon. Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Next question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Yeah, Damon.
Joseph, what's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Obviously, this fight week for you, you're kind of doing your own thing out there, but you had to deal with the news that possibly Deiveson tested positive for COVID. Of course, there's going to be the weight cut concern until tomorrow at the weigh-ins. Did you have to ignore all that? I mean, is it impossible not to pay attention to some of that stuff going on?
I mean, it's impossible not to just like wonder what's going to happen, but I honestly feel I did a pretty good job of just looking at it, assessing it, and saying like, well, what can I control? And a lot of it I couldn't control. If he tested positive, if he made weight. I know we've had Pantoja in place for the whole card since we signed the deal. We made sure there was a replacement and saw him at the airport, and I knew he tested positive. So I just knew I wasn't leaving here without a fight, and so just tried to really concentrate on myself. I mean, and just waited for the news to come in, but wasn't anything honestly that stressful for me, or I did my best to alleviate that stress, me, my coaches, and everything, and just knowing that the goal kind of stays the same no matter who it is, and if we're lucky there's something else in play, and we'll get into a fight either way.
I know there's no, personal grudge necessarily with Deiveson. It's all business at the end of the day. But, coming out of the last fight, he downplayed a little bit of the importance of the weight cut. Obviously, he took responsibility for missing weight, but he kind of downplayed how that may have actually had a factor in the fight. And he kind of downplayed the importance of the headbutt that kind of led to the end of the fight. Not that you need more motivation, but when you hear stuff like that, like, does it add a little extra pep in your step as you get ready for a rematch like this?
Yeah, it does. It really does. I mean, just the fact like he's kind of like he's like a villain, to everybody, I think, and I don't like him, and like that is rare for me, like you said, it's not personal because I don't really know him, personally and everything, but no, I mean, I definitely don't like him. It definitely makes you want to go out there and hurt someone worse because, when you fight, you win, you're like, oh, you hurt him, by proxy, winning an MMA fight, you kind of have to. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I just want to put this guy away. I just want to shut him up. And I just don't like him. And that rarely happens in my career. But I actually had someone ask me earlier, they said, well, is that a good thing? And I said, well, the only people I haven't liked and felt that I wanted to do that to the similar way that I could compare was Miguel Torres back in the WDC, ruined him, and then Henry Cejudo, and beat him, was his last loss. And that was a great fight as well. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good track record for that feeling, I think. But it's nothing crazy emotional. It's just like, you're actually fighting a guy you don't like.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thing for me, I know we've talked a lot about your relationship with the flyweight title going into this fight, and I don't want to take the attention away from Deiveson Figueiredo, but are you excited about the future of the flyweight division now? We just saw a great flyweight co-main event last night. We've seen a lot more flyweight fights on cards recently. Is it exciting to see where the flyweight division is going lately? And we feel like, the future is finally set a little bit after this fight.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. The fight was actually this morning for us, so that's weird. But no, yeah, that was a great fight with Tim and Benoit, both guys representing, both guys incredibly skilled. Dude, I'm a huge fan, obviously, of the division and it happening. I mean, I had the first ever title fight in this division, the first win, the first knockout. I've been here through like generations of flyweights. Where are all the other people that, lost to DJ for the flyweight title and was around in that first generation when we popped up? It's kind of crazy. So yeah, man, I'm excited about it. And I just love, like, this is a normal question. Like, how great does the future look? Not the questions we were answering, like, whatever, like a year and a half, 2 ago, the other way. So yeah, just the fact that it's normal, it's regular, it's getting some regularity in it, it's getting some good contenders, new generations of contenders, and exciting fights every time out. Feels great.
Thanks, Joseph.
Our next question is from Gabriel Pengelingen with Dojo Drifter.
Okay.
Joseph, hope you're doing good.
Thank you.
This is the biggest fight of your career, but you seem very calm. Is this just another day at the office for you, or do you feel the weight of the event on your shoulders?
Another day at the office, honestly. I mean, I know it's big, but every fight's big, and a fight is very serious. It's very hard. It's the hardest thing you can possibly do. So I don't try to make anything harder, you know, as far as like wasted energy and mental energy or stress about it. You know, I've done it enough times to know like it's gonna be stressful enough and hard enough fighting a guy for 25 minutes. You prepare for the hardest 25 minutes of your life, you know, and that's kind of what it is. You know, I've just done it long enough to know like the hard part's gonna be the fight. You know, try not to make anything else hard.
And after that first fight with Figueiredo, you know, what did you learn, and then what did you realize when you were in there with him that you hope you could capitalize on in your next fight, in this fight this weekend?
Well, I realized I can beat him, you know, at his own game. I could stand toe to toe with him and beat him, and that's what he wants everyone to do. I did it, was beating him in the first round, and but you know, I learned, you know, you take away a ton of data from things like that, and when you come out on one end, I think there's a lot of other chances and opportunities to improve than when you come out on another end. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to go out there and show it and feel great about it.
Yes, and there's a saying that success is going from one disappointment to the next without losing enthusiasm. So how have you maintained enthusiasm throughout these title shots and through these ups and downs in your career, like you've mentioned?
It's funny, I just used that quote earlier. I'm not a quote guy, but I was like, you know what? That kind of describes, you know, I think like longevity and, you know, success in a way like that. But I think the way I've kept enthusiastic is, you know, I love what I do. That's great. I've been able to keep it fresh and mix it up with different people and different coaches and teammates and kind of different eras in my MMA career. And I think that's huge. You know, even when I was at Alpha Male, which was my longest stint, you know, I was always wanting to train, you know, a week here in New Mexico, a week here in Denver, a few weeks in Vegas. So continuing to learn has been really huge to keep me like enthusiastic because everything's fresh, you know, all the time. And you're learning, you feel like you're constantly learning and never being idle in the sport, which I think is important. And then honestly, on another level, I think just the gratitude I feel to be able to do it, that I'm lucky enough to do it, that there's people dedicating their time, you know, even to interview me or to care about me, enough to, you know, train me and feed me and all sorts of stuff like that. You know, walking into the PI every day, you know, feel grateful. So, and I think just having like loved ones around you and people that love you, like, you know, like I can just do this because I like it and it's fun. You know, at the end of the day, you know, like you, you still have a great life, and you know, it makes it, you know, that much easier to walk in. Like if everything was terrible in my life and I wasn't married to Megan O'Leary, then you know, I might walk in and not be as enthusiastic. But you know, I walk in and I'm enthusiastic about life, and you know, that is just something, you know, this has afforded me that life, and I'm grateful for it. So I just try not to squander like any day, no matter if it's a Wednesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Thursday night, you know, just go in with, you know, grateful that the people are there and grateful that I get to do it. It's worked out.
All right. So thank you, Joe. We wish you the best of luck this weekend. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Our last question is from Augusto Hermansson with Somos MMA.
Perfect.
Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
My first question is, you have a lot of experience, but this is a particular fight week, and a lot of things might be new for you. So in your opinion, does all these things like the 48 hours quarantine and all that make it easier to be focused on the fight, or it makes it harder?
You know, it's definitely like a challenge because it's different, but I like different, and I like I've done everything in this sport. You know, I've had, 40 fights, probably 30 with the Zuffa organization. And, fight weeks are very similar. Every time, you know what to expect. This keeps it fresh. After all, a fight is, the challenges and the adversity and, being able to pivot and adapt to different things. So I honestly just took everything in here. Like, I'm so excited to get on the plane and have a long flight. I enjoyed the heck out of my quarantine. Just hanging out, knowing, hey, like, you got to motivate yourself if you want to train in your hotel room right now. Like, little things like that are like, you know what? You want to give yourself the best shot. Wake up at 2 a.m. Make sure you feel awake because you're going to fight around this time, and all that kind of stuff that I think a normal person would look at as a challenge. I think fighters invite in. So yeah, I like it. I feel like it's a great experience to be here. I mean, the whole world's watching. You can live to tell about Fight Island, at the end of the day. So it's been a cool experience and a fresh experience at this point in my career.
And is there anything about these new things in the Fight Island that you think that the UFC should implement in every fight? I can imagine that the swabbing thing is not going to be your answer, but I don't know. What do you prefer?
You know what? That's a great question. And one thing I would like to say, so I'm glad you asked, is what I really like about this Fight Island preparation and the UFC is doing, and they should continue to do that, is I like the individual workout rooms. So we all work out in our individual workout room, where typically there's a ballroom that is dedicated to one corner and a ballroom dedicated to the other corner. So, everyone's trying to train around when they're going to fight. So you go in there, it's full of 8 people. Everyone's trying to blast their music. There's gear everywhere. Sharing a mat, you're running into people and stuff like that. We all have an individual workout room with an individual sauna and a bath and everything for the weight cut part. And I really like that part. You go into your own room, you're accountable to keep it clean and nice. You listen to your own music. It's just you and your team. It's very private. And I think that's been one of the best things about this, and that the UFC should continue to do that.
Yeah, I understand. And how are you dealing with the time difference and the fact that you will be fighting in an unusual time schedule?
Yeah, just another thing to adapt to. It's different. It's cool. It's interesting. I knew everything was coming with challenges here, and just to be able to do this took a lot of preparation, challenge on everybody's end, and all for us to go out there and live our dream and fight. And that's how it is. So no, I've just took it with, it's fun. Like I said, it's different. It's an experience. Everyone has to do it. It's not like, hey, you're the only one that has to fight this in the morning. So I think it's cool. It just gives you another layer of like, what can I do better to prepare than the other guy can?
Joe, you two know each other from the last fight. So how much do you think this will affect the outcome of the fight? Will it have much incidence?
I think we're gonna both make the changes, and I was a better fighter in the first one, so I'm gonna be the better fighter in this one.
And my last one, Deiveson had said that he wants to submit you. Do you think he will take the fight to the ground? Are you worried about that?
Not worried. Not worried at all. I invite it. I really hope he does try to grapple. and test me there. I think I'm the best grappler in the division and feel confident with anybody there. So, yeah, not worried about that.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph, and best of luck for this weekend.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
That's all we have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes the UFC Fight Night Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2 Virtual Media Day. We would like to thank everyone for joining today's event. UFC Fight Night Figueiredo